Yo, 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 what's good out there, everybody? You already know who it is. You got your three favorite guys from your favorite podcast, the Three Man Weave Podcast. You got your guy Cannon with you as always. Plus, I got both. Nope. Ooh, only got one of my counterparts with me today. So, who I got with me?
You already know who it is. It's your boy Hill. Hill going Hill regardless, baby. Let's get it. AJ had to, had to use his PTO.
Mm-hmm.
He had a family matter that had to attend to. So we're gonna hold it down for our guy. This episode 82.
82.
Man, we rolling, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling. You can catch us on all major podcast platforms. 3 Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter. 3manweave_. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's episode 82. Y'all watching this right now on the YouTube viewership, on the YouTube live, Facebook
Mm-hmm.
group, 3 Man Weave group. So I want to thank each and every one of you all joining us. We're gonna get this thing rocking, baby. Damn. Oh yeah, I'm gonna show it like this because that's how A did. Yeah. Live viewer, y'all gotta click this on the screen to show y'all to give stream y'all permission to have y'all picture in your face so we can know who we talking to. Let's go. I'm new to the boards. So
We got Hill working the boards today, y'all. So, but you know
bear
what?
with me.
Yeah, it's all good though, because it can't always be the 3 Man weave, but it's all good because it's basketball. We just adapt. So when it's two people, we go to the give and go. We would the give and go or the pick and roll. So we still working. It don't even matter. But
Look at Hakeem. Them sacks sent AJ home too.
King, you talking trash, yo. King, shout out to King, yo. That's my blood brother. If people don't even know, that's my real brother. But he definitely been supporting us since day one. So shout out to you, bro. Appreciate it.
I got Sean here. What's going on?
Mm-hmm. Shout out to my guy Sean Hurt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So as some of you all may see, I'm gonna make sure I show everybody correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You see who I'm doing it for.
Let's talk about it.
See who I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for Dak. Got my Dak jersey on, representation.
Mm-hmm.
Represent my guy. It was gruesome injury.
Yes.
Gruesome injury. I'm not even gonna lie. That hurt me. That hurt me. Watching the game, it seemed like I was at a funeral. And you hate this. You hate to see those type of injuries. We know injuries are a part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a collision sport. It's a brutal sport. And once again, we know injuries are a part of the game. But those type of gruesome injuries, those somewhat seeming like their career type ending injuries, you don't really want to see those. You don't want to see those at all. Those kind of hurt. And the type of person that Dak is, I think it hurt. If it hit a little different for a lot of people because Dak is a good guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. Just to piggyback off what you said, Dak reputation precedes him in the NFL as far as the things that he's done off the field. Not only off the field, but just him being a good guy on the field too, far as just good camaraderie. He's always wanting the best for his teammates and just for other players that he know in the league. And I really, really hated to see Dak go down like that. I've had bad leg injuries in my lifetime, so me personally, I really don't like seeing nobody in the league or any sports that I watch take a leg injury, let alone a gruesome one. A broken leg or a broken ankle is one of the toughest injuries to come back from, especially when it's compound. Compound fractures, if y'all don't know, is when the bone protrudes out of the skin, and that leads to high risk for one, the break not being clean because of the way that it's poking out the skin, number one, and two, also for infection because all the way to the hospital, that bone is exposed, and now you got to put that bone back inside your body. So it's definitely a scary injury. Me personally, being a Washington football team fan, I've dealt with that type of injury recently. And honestly, I would say prior to this year, I would have been so fearful for Dak, because I'm a Dak fan, like you said, even though I'm a Washington football fan. I always root for good people in the league, and people who I just think are talented. So I hated to see it, but it's funny because the same Sunday is like Alex Smith made his return when nobody thought that he would make his return. So it's like that gives me optimism for that, because it's like one thing Hill always tells me is that we dealing with modern medicine right now. So it's like a lot of the things that took people out in years past, it's not taking people out anymore. That's number one. And number two, it's about how you deal with the adversity of the injury. It's all about the character of the person. And you could see Alex Smith, he didn't give a damn what nobody said about that injury. The whole world told him, hang it up, it's a wrap. But he got out there, and it actually looked like he could play football when he was out there. You know what I'm saying? Even if he'll never play another down, I feel like he accomplished his goal. But I really do feel like Dak is young enough, he's strong enough, he's talented enough to get back, and I hope that he do get back.
First thing I think about when gruesome injuries is the timetable, timetable of recovery. And I'm saying, okay, 4 to 6 months was the projected recovery date. I'm like, that's enough time for him to actually get healthy, get acclimated. Hopefully next year we have an actual NFL offseason that he can actually, go through. And then quarterbacks don't get hit in practice or in camp. So all we just got to make sure is you're healthy enough to move around, and you should be. I'm confident that he'll be able to come back and be the Dak that I know that he is. Yeah. I think the part that I had a roller coaster of emotions, to be quite honest, during the game, because it was a divisional rivalry against the Giants. It's an up and down. We losing, we winning. It was a entertaining game actually between two.
Yeah, no, it was a good game.
Sorry, actually, this is going to keep it a buck. It's just the fact I hated the fact that I hate a lot of stuff, because when it comes to the Cowboys, a lot of people just can't keep it real.
They can't keep it a buck when it comes to the Cowboys.
And so I'm in a rock and a hard place. So I'm like, yes, Andy Dalton is, a capable quarterback. Is he a borderline starter in this league? Yes, he is. On certain teams, he could probably start right now, and you would have the confidence in him. He got the pieces around him, plug and play. As a Cowboy fan, I'm like, you know what? Let's go get these victories. I'm not team tank in football. No, to be quite honest, not purposely. I'm not team purposely tanking in football. Let's say that. If you just trash, then you just trash. But purposely tanking, I'm not for that. I'm Cowboys. Let's go out. I'm wanting the Cowboys to win every week. I'm rooting for my team every week. So that's what I'm going. I just don't want to hear the simple fact that, okay, let's say Andy Dalton goes out there and ball. See, he's better than Dak. Y'all didn't need Dak. That's why y'all didn't pay Dak. Y'all got Andy Dalton. And I got to hear that side of the story, that side of the spectrum. And then, but y'all been telling me that Andy Dalton been trash his entire career in Cincinnati. But now all of a sudden he come to Dallas. It's a different story. Like, I'm in the catch-22 in this situation, because once again, I don't feel that everybody's going to keep it real. And then let's say Andy Dalton does ball out and get us to the playoff, and then he lose another playoff game. Are we going to just say, well, y'all got there to the, with the backup quarterback, it is what it is? Or are we going to say, oh, the Cowboys ain't won the Super Bowl since '95? Like, are we going to do that again? Like, do I got to do that again?
I mean, we got to do it all. Come on now, we got to do it all. But what I will say, do it all? That's a part of the game, right? So look, if Andy Dalton balls, which he has all the tool set to ball, as you could see when he came in, how he hit Gallup on the money. So it's like he really just needed some talent around him, right? So now let's just say if he does ball, right? The nature of football is if y'all go to the playoffs and Dak come back, they're gonna try to give Andy a chance to at least prove himself when Dak get there, and if we do have a real season next year. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. And if Dak is the warrior and the talent that you believe that he is, and he comes back and he says, okay, I'm not afraid of no competition. It's football after all. And he go in there and either win the job, or Andy goes in there and win the job. But I think either way, you have you put yourself, if y'all can get the defense, the Cowboys put themselves in a good position. I said from the beginning when y'all signed Andy Dalton that it was a good pickup, because he's one, he could come to my team and start. So I'm never going to downplay anybody that can come to my team and start. That's number one. And number two, I think he can go to a lot more teams and start. I just really think that it was over for him. The Bengals thing, it lasted too long, and they really just, while he was there, were at a lack of offensive talent.
But when he had offensive talent, he balled out.
He balled out, bro. He balled.
If you watch our games, how we starting off, it's been actually, of course, the defense has been historically bad. I mean, last week I wanted to fire Mike Nolan. They showed up a little bit better last week, but the turnovers has really been hurting them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've been watching our games, how they've been trying to play some of those earlier halves, it's been real, bootlegs, short passes, a lot of rhythm plays. So all Andy really has to do, and we've been moving the ball, so all Andy really has to do is just minimize the turnover, save your defense, and if we utilize Zeke, this, like I said, the division is that trash. We should be able to stay afloat, keep it moving, and stay on top of the NFC East with Andy Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go back to Hakeem's statement. That is the face of the franchise, and to be honest, Andy Dalton can take y'all to the chip, and that gonna get his spot back. I think you're absolutely not believing.
He's partially correct.
Yeah, I think you're minimizing the hate that Dak received from his own fan base.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to remember that during this whole offseason when he didn't have a contract, it's a lot of Cowboy fans that did not want him to get paid, that does not want him to get his money, that don't want him on the team, that don't believe in Dak. So if we so happen to go to the chip with Andy Dalton, Dak gone, bro. We're not having none of that Nick Foles, Carson Wentz type of situation. And Dallas is too loud.
Mm-hmm.
Fan base is too loud.
Yeah, you gotta have a clear-cut guy.
Yeah.
But there definitely was a lot of criticism towards Dak being close to being paid like one of the premier passers in the league, which I never understood, as you can see from the first 4 games of the season, that he should have been. But how you feel about that? And I don't want to stay on this topic too long, Hill, but we got to touch on how you feel about the contract situation with, them trying to get a deal done, both sides not being able to reach the deal, and now we had a gruesome injury that you spoke of earlier. How do you foresee things playing out?
As I stated, I made a whole Dak contract video, so everybody knows the side I stand on with Dak contract, what he should have been paid, what they should have gave him, market value, and all that. I'm an advocate for Dak getting paid. I'm still an advocate for Dak getting paid. Mm-hmm. Both sides were stubborn. Let's say that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wanted to budge. They was moving on turtle time, and it came to fruition. They both was cocky, like, okay, you know what? We can get the deal done next year, because the Cowboys have been making moves, renegotiating certain contracts, trying to free up cap for next year in lieu of paying Dak, or because the franchise tag goes up next year if we have to tag him anyway. So they're already prepared on paying Dak. So they say. And they say injury hasn't changed anything. We want to pay Dak. It is what it is. At the end of the day, the reason why I wasn't optimistic about this season, because they didn't pay him. I was already y'all wasn't going to get all my emotions that I really want to give y'all, that I normally give y'all, because y'all didn't give him his contract. And the injury, it just was the icing on the cake. It was, you know what? They should have paid him. The fact that he gambled on himself, and I'm pretty sure that given the circumstances, he would do it again. Football is a gamble. Period.
I would do it every time.
Football is a gamble, period. They could have paid him and still he could have got hurt, and they could have found a way not to give him all his money. So it's negotiation. He had to use his leverage, and his leverage hasn't wavered, because all he has to do is show that he's healthy. If they let him walk, they let him walk. Another team will pay Dak all his money that he's going to pay. So it's the name of the game. I hated the Monday morning quarterback that everybody wanted to play. See, that's why you don't play on the franchise tag. That's why you don't play on the franchise tag.
To get your money, you got to play on it. If they don't give you the deal.
But they was also the same people that wanted him to sign a low under market value contract. So which one was it? You wanted him to get paid, or you wanted him to take a BS deal? And I'm not. So you got to stay on one side of the fence. You just can't. Just because hindsight happened, you can't change where your stance was.
Yep. And to answer this question that's on the screen from one of the supporters, should the Cowboys look at Cap or another free agent, or y'all think Dalton good? I honestly think Dalton is good. I wouldn't bring nobody else into the quarterback room unless you take another injury to the quarterback position. Other than that, I would leave it untouched. And I definitely would just kind of stay away from the Cap thing. One, because of the Dallas nature of everything. Like, everything is bigger in Texas. You know how it's even bigger in Dallas. So I wouldn't even do it. And plus with Dak, like you said, y'all want a clear-cut guy. Y'all don't want a Nick Foles, Carson Wentz situation. And wherever, if Cap was to get signed by anybody, it's definitely whoever their starting quarterback is. It's going to be a Carson Wentz, Nick Foles situation.
I think for Dak, I mean not Dak, for Cap to get a job, I don't believe he's going to ever get a job again. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong on that, but for me, I want him to actually get an off season. I want to get him a full off season to get a job. I don't want him to come in the middle of the season with he's already rusty. I want him to have a full off season with the team so he can actually show his full capabilities. That's me personally. That's me being personal, but
I agree. I think they're smart. But I honestly, as much as I hate to agree with the pessimistic outlook that you laid out, I kind of believe that in my heart, deep down in my heart too. As much as I want Cap to get another shot, but it's every year that goes past, it's looking more and more bleak. So
I want you to how did you feel about the contract situation or the contract talk? Because once again, that was the first thing that popped up after the injury. They're like, that's why you don't play on the franchise tag. And I gotta go to. I may make a run right quick. Go ahead.
I already I already know who the top guys are in the league, even if they're not the top guys statistically. So it's called the eye test. So I could look at Dak and tell just based off his talent and the weapons that Dallas are putting around him that he's the future of the league. And if I have my guy, I don't want that in question. So I'm automatically gonna just, make sure I take care of my guy. And if I'm taking care of other players, I'm definitely gonna try to make sure I take care of my guy first. So I would have probably have gotten a deal done if I was the owner, but I'm not. But it's a whole business. And they play these games. They did it to Kirk Cousins, and I'm not trying to compare them two quarterbacks to each other, but I think if someone else gets a young quarterback and they get into that same position where they're not yet a Super Bowl contender team, they'll probably play that same game. Because why not? It's smart business wise to not to commit.
True. Well, everybody, we can chime in on this one because it's gonna be a long talk. Because once we got the Monday night game, so got a lot. It will be the last game, and we're gonna, We're gonna see. We're gonna see how Andy Dalton performs. We're gonna see how that goes. We're gonna see how that go. But as y'all can see, I made a wardrobe change because we're not gonna be so we're not gonna be sad. We're not gonna be sad this entire show, baby. Late show, another one. Late show got another one, baby. Late show got another one, baby. And we told y'all. I predicted that Lakers in 6, baby. Told y'all, baby. Let's go, man.
I had Lakers in 5. I was wrong on that, but I called this at the beginning of the season, pre-Rona. This is in October or 2019, whatever episode we was on there. Called it. Lakers gonna bring it home this year. I don't care what kind of chip, bubble chip, regular chip. It was gonna be Lakers in 6, like Hill said. Oh man, bro, any chip, man. But look, they still don't want to give your guy his due, man. Now, we talked about it. We talked about it, right? We talked about how prior to it looking like the Lakers were gonna win, everybody was just giving the bubble all types of props. Yeah. Saying this is some of the best basketball. I mean, and we was getting games every night, and teams were playing back, only getting one night off. So we were seeing all these elite ballers every other night or every night because they were just taking turns off, right? And we was just loving it, and the games was magnificent. And we were seeing young players come of age. That was the beauty of it, right? And then all of a sudden, when it became apparent, when we went up 2-0 and it became apparent, then we went up 3-1, they just was like, this is an asterisk. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? Like, nah, bro. That's what we not gonna do. I don't care whoever says it for the rest of my life. If you walk up to me talking about asterisk, I'm gonna say, you're absolutely right. It is an asterisk, just like Mark Jackson said during the live broadcast. And there is an asterisk because this title was more difficult than any other title we've ever seen. And the reason being is basketball players, professional ones, normally have the luxury of going home. They normally have the comforts of their home, their family, their children, all of that. So now you're dealing with the stress of a pandemic. You're in a dormitory lifestyle living. You're away from your family. You got real life issues that you can't leave the bubble to address. So it's like, this is the most, we've never seen nothing like that. So if you're gonna put an asterisk on it, you damn right you put one on there, because this was the most difficult socially for any players to have to deal with. And especially for the Heat and the Lakers, they had to be in the bubble longer than anybody else. And now they have to be there when other people are starting to not be there. So now towards the end, ain't nobody to talk to but you. So all of your other friends from the bubble, they're gone. So it's like now it's just your teammates.
People don't highlight that part. Like, people were leaving the bubble. So that making the bubble is less, like I said, less people. That makes it worse. It makes it worse. Matter of fact,
the pressure that when you see people leave, the pressure goes up. You feel me? Come on now.
You ever been to summer school?
Just to get ahead. You feel me?
But you was I wouldn't say reason. I didn't say summer school was for other reasons too. I don't know why summer school got a negative connotation. Let's change that. Summer school is for good reasons as well. I went there to get ahead as well, brother. Let's not do that. We're not gonna do that. But on campus, it's terrible during the summer.
Absolutely.
It's terrible during the summer. It's not the same.
Well, it has some perks too.
Just like the bubble. You see what I'm saying?
But overall, the campus is terrible, and it's pretty boring on the summer. But you can get you know how, like in the movies, in the sitcom, it always be the one guy and the one girl on campus. You can get that type of thing happening. You feel me, in the summertime?
like my guy with the Rockets, Johnny. He was gonna get his COVID test privately. How long have I been a late all my life, Sean? Don't try to play me like that. I've been there all my life. My aunt used to watch me, and she used to play ESPN Classics all the time, man. They always played the great games, and a lot of the great games were from the Showtime Lakers. and I was like, hold on, this basketball looks way different from all the other basketball. Like Showtime era looked like he could play in this era. So I got enamored with that. So I'm like, you know what? She was a Laker fan. I became a Laker fan from that. I had some tough times. So don't make it seem like just because my franchise is a historic franchise, don't make it seem like I didn't have any tough times, brother. But yeah, that was a hard fought championship. Like I said, it was one of the best that we've seen in a while. It was hard fought, even though that the Heat did look disadvantaged on paper.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't play like it. They showed they didn't play like it. They fought.
They didn't play like it most of the series, but towards that last game, but it was just to the fact, man, that bro, Game 5 was one of the best finals games that I've seen ever. I'm putting it's in my list of top finals games that I've seen, and I've seen every single finals game since '88. I'm just trying to tell you, me and my brothers, since we were little boys, we seen every single one, and that's just a fact. So that's one of the best ones I've ever seen. And I'm taking it out of the bubble of the series, and I'm just looking at the game where everything would have been a win or go home for the Heat with all the pressure, and for Jimmy to just rise to the occasion like that with Bron playing the way that he was playing, it was unbelievable, man. And I just feel like it was one of those times. There's certain times where you just watching a game where and it's two stars like that. It's very seldom where you'll see two stars like that with a lot on the line and both of them just be clicking. Like Jimmy was getting anywhere he wanted to in the paint and hitting over whoever. Bron was pulling up from 30 and hitting like that's what he always do. You feel me? Just unbelievable, man. I just hope, that we can get that type of basketball back next year, because the bubble basketball was legit.
It was a hard-fought victory, Sean. That he just, like Cannon just described, Game 5. It was like two fighters just standing in the middle of the ring, letting them hands go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Game 5 was tough. That makes it tough. That means you got to go out there and finish them in Game 6, because anything can happen in the Game 7. That was a hard fought. We're not gonna do that, Sean.
But luckily, most people knew, like, the laws of probability, the role players for the Heat. So you knew that Jimmy could probably be consistent throughout the series, but it's like the Tyler Heroes, the what's Kendrick Nuns and Duncan Robinson. So it's like that they're gonna be themselves, but if they do ball out, it's gonna be in spurts, probably not the whole entire series. So man, if the Heat could have got the role players to just show up in the next game, who knows what could have happened. But I think the Lakers defensively came out and said, like, no, like, we let a lot of, like, that last pick and roll that the Heat ran that gave Jimmy the wide open lane for the foul in Game 5. They said, nah, we can't let nothing like that happen in Game 6. And that's what AD just became a defensive anchor. Finally, I've been waiting for it. And it's like in the game in 2K, when your guy's a defensive anchor, everybody just plays better. And the way that he was fronting the front court but still playing the post, it was dominant in Game 6, and he should have played like that all series.
If Corona doesn't end before the season, do we have another bubble? I think they're going to try to avoid another bubble at all costs, to be quite honest. That bubble was
a long bubble. That's different.
Yeah,
you feel me?
They
like knew it was a playoff, so they knew it was a short term and it had to end. But a season long bubble, whew. I don't think nobody trying to be away from their family for 5 months straight.
I think they'll just postpone the season and extend it as long as they have to, or put some type of precautions or protocols in place. But I'm not another bubble. If we got to have another bubble, that means something's going wrong again.
But honestly, to Sean's point, bro, I don't see the virus letting up. So it's like
no damn end in sight. I feel them. That's why the question was asked, because we don't see no end in sight. This shit is terrible, bro. Like, bro, the second wave here, and he tried to downplay it. Second wave is here, bro. It ain't even cold outside. It's only hoodie season.
And bro, every time people get together, people get the virus, bro.
See, this is why we boom. This is why we here. Break the season in quarter. If you got the bubble,
yeah,
already solutions right then and there.
Yep. Pay this man.
Put him on the payroll. See, problem ass, problem solved already. If you break it up.
Solutions. He got a business called Weekend Solutions. So he's solution oriented.
This is what he specializes in.
What most cannons are. You feel me? So it's like I tried to offer the bubble solution to the NFL prior to this, and no, not the NBA style bubble solution, a regional bubble solution. I offered it up prior to, which they could have done and could have avoided a lot of the mess that we're experiencing now. But neither here nor there.
Let's get it. We got another one. Let's see. Should Jimmy Butler get more respect as a superstar? Because I believe he is.
I'm giving him absolute superstar respect after that. I can't. Even if you were a Jimmy Butler, if you were a hater of Jimmy Butler and you're still a hater, but you're not giving him his due, then I can't respect it, because dude's a flat out superstar, because he was getting buckets on Bron, AD, whoever. And I don't care what anybody says, bro. Most teams, if you take a lot of other superstars out and you give them that same Miami Heat team, you just take Jimmy Butler out and you put another superstar in, I don't know if they get 2 wins. I don't even know if they get past the Celtics to get to the finals. So, dude's definitely a superstar, because a lot of what the Heat were able to do in their run in the bubble was because of Jimmy Butler.
A lot of people give Jimmy his flack because he's not an elite scorer like a lot of other players, but he does a lot of other things. Like, that toughness and grit cannot be understated. Like, his defensive prowess cannot be understated, and he can score. Just because he's not a natural scorer at heart, like, he just don't ISO, you know what I'm saying? Just every game, every week, that's just not his natural game. Doesn't take any less than his game. And on top of that, he showed this year more so than his other years that he can initiate the offense and he can pass. So come on, man. Jimmy is just a hooper, a superstar hooper. That, it is what it. You put him on the floor and he gonna make things happen.
Sean says, what's your criteria for a superstar then? Because he disagrees. My criteria for a superstar is someone who can do it on the biggest levels against anybody in any situations. And that was clearly Jimmy Butler. He wasn't folding under pressure in the crunch time. He wasn't folding under pressure when they got down runs and needed a comeback. He was doing whatever it took to keep his team afloat to try to win a championship. And yes, he came up short, but look what he was stacked up against, man. And with the injuries that his team faced and that he faced, bro, he took the high ankle sprain and didn't miss a beat. Came back off of that, played his best game to date. You feel me? With the most on the line. So it's like, if he's not a superstar, then what is? Like, what do you have to be? I get it when you try to say that compared to LeBron. Like, bro, we know that LeBron is a megastar, but Jimmy Butler is a superstar. I guarantee you there's little kids in the United States of America who want to be like Jimmy Butler. I guarantee you.
But because they can be Jimmy Butler. Work hard. Like, this is one of the easiest stories that you can be that. You know what? Who have we elevated as superstars? Normally we elevated, like, for instance, KD became a superstar.
Steph, because I was one of the only people in 09 saying that Steph was good. People gave up on Steph in 09 and in 10 back when they still had Monte Ellis, man.
But think about it. You got Steph, you got KD, you got Giannis, you got Kawhi. These are people that we built them up on superstar status because what? Because they went up against Big Dog. They went up against Big Dog LeBron and didn't waver. They stood toe to toe, and you had to gain their respect. You punched the bully, basically. You punched the bully. Now, how many other people, stars that we seen go against LeBron, and then they fold? Paul George, prime example. Like you stood up. He matched LeBron's game in the on the highest stage. That's Jimmy. That's somebody that you didn't know. Like, what more did you really want him to do?
2 triple doubles.
Yeah, LeBron didn't even have 2 triple doubles.
So it's like, come on, man.
Butler is the definition of a baller. What needs to be done to win tonight is what Butler would give you every night.
Yeah.
Every night. So if it calls for me to just play defense all night,
and then I'll do that. And people won't do that.
But if it calls me to go get 40 tonight, then
I'll do that too.
That's superstar status. I know it ain't glitz and glamour like everybody else. He ain't dropping 60. He ain't. It's always like. But you need some of that grit sometimes, and Jimmy provide that. And I've been saying this for a while, so what I'm saying. I think differently.
But nah, I just thought I was like Sean. I had Jimmy in the next tier of stars for sure, all stars.
And that's fine.
But he proved to me, I always say I go by the eye test. I'm not gonna look at what he was doing. I was begging like the basket. I'm like, yo, he's making every shot. Like, who is this? Like, he's getting whatever he wanted to on the floor. So it was like, and no one could stop him, So it's like, hey man, if that ain't a superstar, I don't know what is.
Then hey, we just got to figure out. We're gonna have to have a broader discussion.
And I knew Vernon was in here because somebody said "be real" earlier, and Vernon's probably the only people on this planet who call me "be real." But he's calling it now. Embiid getting traded to the Heat, and him and Embiid had a very good relationship. That is true, and that is a solid point. VIP in the building. Yeah, VIP. Follow the instructions, man, and get your name up here, man.
That's all. I'm trying to keep that up a little bit longer so people can see it. I see. We're gonna start out. We waiting on the logo. I'm gonna wait. But I've been seeing a lot of people. They've been all in on going for Giannis in 2021.
Yeah, I've been seeing that too. But honestly, if I was Giannis, it's a good move, man. I think I texted in our private chat before, like, just because I was arguing with one of our supporters who always in a Facebook group. I forget what his name is on IG. Is Cooler Than You. The one Perry in our Facebook group.
Oh yeah,
he swears that Giannis is going to go to Golden State because he want that to happen. And I just told him, I said, I just don't think that will happen because Golden State won chips before anybody ever went there, right? Then we saw KD go there. I don't think that Giannis would want to just follow in the exact same footsteps of somebody else to go to Golden State and try to win championships like they did. He might, but I felt like if he went and teamed up with Jimmy Butler, that could pretty much they could be a force. So it's like, but at the same time, I can still forge my own path because Jimmy don't have no chip, neither do I. So it's like we're writing our own path together instead of me going to Golden State and trying to cling on to their coattails when they've been established.
Because I've been seeing a lot of reports that they trying to trade they got a second overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
They've been trying to trade their pick to acquire another superstar, and it pisses me off every time I see that report or see multiple reports like that because they don't need to do this.
They gotta do something. They want to keep him.
You want to keep what?
Giannis.
Who?
The Bucks want to keep him.
That's of course the Bucks got to do whatever they got to do. I'm talking about the Warriors.
The Warriors. Oh, okay.
Draft Wiseman, and shut up. Don't think about nothing else.
And right now ain't no really big three. So if you just get somebody else to play ball, y'all could still be a threat.
They got Andrew Wiggins already.
I know, bro. They a threat
You know,
anyway.
you just draft Wiseman and go back to work.
But you
Don't
know,
do nothing else. Don't try to go get another vet to try to recreate what you did with KD. You don't have to. You won before KD. You possibly can win without. Do I believe it? No. But don't do that stupid. Just draft Wiseman. That's the smartest thing ever to do. Draft Wiseman and shut up and move on. That's it. Okay. Healthy Lakers versus the healthy Warriors. Who you got?
the way they constructed right now, I'm taking the Lakers.
Yeah.
I got the Lakers beating. I had the Lakers preseason the best team in the league. So I would just take them healthy. We already knew that KD wasn't going to be there. We knew that that probably Steph and them wouldn't play this year. But even if they did, I still would have took the Lakers just because they don't have they need front court to stop Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And the pick and roll with Bron and Anthony Davis or Rondo and Anthony Davis is deadly, which I don't even know why we didn't see more of that from the Lakers. But it is what it is. But I still would have had them regardless.
They're going to make it tough because, like I say, Steph and Clay, that their elite scoring, shooting is going to be a problem. But once again, what it all boils down to, they don't have anybody that can handle LeBron. They don't have anybody that can handle AD. So it's going to be a tough series. It's going to be a blow for blow. It'll be tough. And home court is going to play a major key in that series. But I'm riding with my guys. And matter of fact, where we gonna stick? Are we moving on? Because man, the chat is booming.
Yeah, the chat booming.
Well, let's stay with the Lakers. Let's stay with the Lakers right now. What do we need to do moving forward? Because we can't stay packed. I mean, we won, and whoop-de-doo. And LeBron teams are always going to be the hunter. He can't hide from nothing. So he's definitely going to have a bigger bullseye on their back, and teams are going to be coming for him. So they got to improve this roster.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Well, we got Avery Bradley coming back, correct?
Yeah, he's still coming back.
So we got Avery Bradley coming back. I honestly would go back and sign Rondo and KCP. I know they opted out, but I would bring them back. I would bring them back, and I would try to add one more piece, one more shooter, and that's it. I wouldn't even do too much. And I'm honestly not letting KCP walk after what he did. Like, I know he had the one game where they had the memes when he and all of that, but after that, KCP been here. Like, he had his reality check. He showed up for the Lakers. He was instrumental to that championship run. So I would just bring that guy back. A lot of times people like to let people who are a key part of their runs walk. I'm not a fan of that. I say go get them, bring them back to someone prove that they can beat them. That's what I would do.
We're going to need another piece somehow to compete. And once again, I try to be realistic. Some of these trades that I see that they got us trying to go for, I'm not for. Like, for prime example, one of the trades they got, we're going to go get Bradley Beal. With what? We have no assets to trade for anybody, actually. So I'm not even going to get worked up and get hyped about a Bradley Beal trade or a Chris Paul trade. Do we have enough? We have a lot to get. We could give up a lot to get Chris Paul. Me personally, I'm not.
We won't have anything left.
Yeah, I'm not overhauling my team for this Chris Paul.
Especially after how he performed in the clutch this year. I'm done with him.
He balled, made an all NBA team. He, took a Thunder team that nobody thought that was going to make the playoffs. He balled. And I would love for CP3 to be on this current Lakers team next year. But I'm not giving up nothing to get him.
Nothing.
If somehow he takes a buyout and becomes a free agent, I will welcome him with open arms. And that's what I'm kind of predicting. Because I don't see a trade for Chris Paul. I'm sorry. I don't see the Bucks. If it's reported the Bucks trying to go get him, I don't see them giving up a whole lot to go get Chris Paul. If the Knicks go get Chris Paul, then they're just gonna be the Knicks again, and it's not gonna change nothing. I just don't see him.
More power to them if they go ahead and get Chris Paul. Go ahead, Nick.
I think a buyout is going to come. They're going to try their hand and trade him. I mean, they're going to try their hand, and which they should. But I just don't see. I don't see a buyout in his. I mean, I don't see a trade in his future. I see a buyout, and I do hopefully see him coming to LA. I would love to get a. I would love to get a Jeremy Grant. The way he balled for Denver in that playoff, he would be perfect.
He was cooking up.
But I'm like you on one hand. I'm bringing everybody back.
Yeah,
I'm bringing everybody back.
They were instrumental. So it's like, as much as you bring that, that's the championship roster right there. You can move if you want to add more. I see that, but you need to still bring the core back, and the core to me is bigger than just Bron and AD.
You got to add because it's people.
You got to add. Yeah, I still say you need to add. You should add. Try to add a better big to help AD out or a better shooter. But I feel like
another shooter. You can always use another facilitator. Yeah. You know, another playmaker, somebody that can score. You're going to need somebody that can score on their own. Somebody that can score on their own.
That's why I said bring KCP back, because if you don't, you automatically losing someone who can score on their own.
You know, we got to read some of these comments. Got the Bucks need another player that can score like a DeMar. The only reason I don't like DeMar with the Bucks is because he can't shoot.
I like him.
I like him.
I like him with the Bucks better than I do with the Spurs. I don't like that. I never like.
For some reason, it's not working. It's just not working.
I said that.
But think about it with the Bucks. They already loading up to stop to force Giannis to shoot. So now you put another player on the floor that can't shoot. They're going to be easier to defend come playoff time.
But
that's why I don't like the fit.
But it's like you can try to force DeMar to shoot, but he can keep his dribble and still get to the rack. So it's like, and if you trying to force Giannis to shoot, then DeMar could be a slasher. So it's like I would like to see them two together. That's not that bad to me.
That's another team that needs somebody else that can score. So once again, make it happen, because you don't have anybody that can go get their own shot. So get it. I'm just have reservations because he's a limited shooter.
Yeah,
and you already have a Giannis that has trouble shooting.
But if you can get him and then bring in a shooter, and the thing about Giannis is we've seen every year Giannis is willing to improve. So it's like, I know that each year Giannis is not going to shoot as bad as he did the year before. So he's trending up as far as shooting. So there's going to come a time and point in the next 5 years where we might say, yo, Giannis is lights out. And you heard it here first. Like, you heard it here first. I know that y'all probably think that's crazy, but you heard it here first. Watch.
Final showed the importance of a traditional center. I'm not sold on small ball. We was never sold on small ball. I was never sold on small ball.
Ever.
Small ball, basically, you know, your bigs is trash. Once your bigs is trash, you had to go small. You got to put your best players on the floor. I understand that. But versatility is key. And Vogel and the Lakers have showed that you can have multiple lineups and play with anybody, match up with anybody. If you just small, like, that's it. So you can't go to anything. You can't match up with everybody.
That's a fact.
Like I said, I mean, you definitely got to get some versatility, though.
Yeah, I was never ever sold on small ball. Even when Golden State was winning and just shooting the lights out, I used to tell her all the time, like, why is our teams trying to load up with shooters to beat them? Why don't they just go in there with a dominant center like the Lakers did when they had Shaq or somebody and just keep throwing them the ball, let them get and-ones the old-fashioned way, dominate boards, and just say, y'all are too small, and make them take those shooters off the floor. But no one ever did it. Everyone always tried to beat them at their own game, which you never could do because that was their style. So it's like, you got to just come in there with brute force, which is why, going back to your earlier question, if they were healthy, Lakers or the Warriors, I say Lakers, because I think the Warriors' number one weakness has always been defending real big. So
do the Nets need one more piece? I don't believe so. I believe that if they just bring in KD and a healthy Kyrie with the pieces that they already have, they have enough. They have enough to get to the finals. Chemistry is going to be their issue. I believe they have all the pieces in the world, to be quite honest. LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie. Hopefully they can bring back Joe Harris, in my opinion. I think the Nets got a lot. What you think, Ken?
I want to see them actually try it before bringing anybody else in, because these two guys in particular are very arrogant. So it's like, all right, I don't want you to bring anybody else in. Like you said, y'all should be enough with the role players that you do have. Y'all should be able to go out there and get to the Eastern Conference Finals. But I honestly think it's going to be tougher than that with Milwaukee, with Indiana, and with Miami coming back. So it's like, they got, hey. But I want to see them try to do it without bringing in no more pieces, because y'all are supposed to be the guys.
Yeah, y'all supposed to be superstars already. So y'all go ahead and show up, put your big boy pants on, and y'all supposed to be healthy. What top free agent should Sixers pick up? Anybody that can shoot. We said this. We said it a couple shows back. Anybody that can shoot. If you can shoot, Philly. If you can't shoot, don't call Philly. Don't go nowhere near Philly. Don't even get a Philly cheesesteak if you can't shoot. Don't do none of that. That's just neat. I like that. I would like that. I would love to get Gallinari.
Yeah, that'd be a definitely good fit, because Gallinari can shoot the perimeter shot, plus create his own shot when he need to. I like that fit, and he can just be big on the wing and make it tougher.
Should we trade Kuzma? See, the thing about trading Kuzma is he has a minimal contract. That's why I've been opposed to trading Kuzma all this time. His contract is trash, so we're trading him for somebody else that's going to be a veteran trash. And I'm not sold on vet trash.
Yeah, me neither.
I hate
that trash.
I get it, Laker Nation. Sometimes Kuzma is frustrating.
He hit or miss, man.
He's inconsistent. I get it. But the fact that we can't upgrade because of his contract is the fact that I'm gonna just roll with him. Like, but I feel you. I feel anybody that want to get rid of him. I can't defend him.
Kuz just needs more clock to be better, and that's really what it is. Kuz was cold. He has to be hot. He's a streaky player, so it's like he needs more touches to get his streak going. And unfortunately, on the team that he's on, he didn't have those opportunities this year. But I don't think that they should get rid of him, because he definitely going to go somewhere else and flourish. And like Hill said, we're going to get a trash vet in return, who we already know the ceiling for. Kuzma can still get better.
Bill trade, we need Kuzma, Green, Alex, and a few picks for Bradley. Like, that's I would love Bradley Beal in the league. Don't get me wrong. I would love it. It's just the fact that I just don't believe it's happening.
That's a lot of I like Caruso, man. And people aren't putting that much value on Danny Green. I'm not trading Bill for anything with Danny Green involved.
But Lakers, we trying to get rid of Danny Green. He's involved in every trade.
Just cut him, bro. Just cut him, man. Danny Green, the best I've ever seen him was against the Miami Heat, when Miami Heat came back. But Danny Green was potentially about to be the finals MVP that series. I don't know what year it was, but he was trying to put the Heat away, bro. And it's like, ever since then, it's been a steady decline every year for Danny Green.
What do you think y'all need? I doubt CP3 would fit in LA. If anything, PG not as dominant. See, but that's what Bron just showed you. I was thinking that same way for a long time, but Bron just showed you he would give up the reins to play a facilitating point guard, because he was on the court a lot with Rondo.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hating it. You can ask Ken. I'm like, get off the floor together. I hated it every time. But it showed me that Bron can play off the ball, because
I've been saying it for years.
Really, he only let
He gotta trust someone
Yeah.
on the ball, and that's the issue. And so he trusted Rondo on the ball, and so he said, "Okay, I can be off the ball." But it's like I think that's the same thing for Kobe and Michael too. They could have played off the ball, but they didn't trust nobody to be on the ball, which is why they were shooting guards that handled the rock because can't trust you with it.
Yeah. But what CP3 showed in Houston, he can play off the ball as well. And that's what I like to fit with him and LeBron, because they both show that they can give up something to make it work.
But I don't want.
I'm not giving up. Yeah, I'm not, like I said, we're not giving up everything for. I'll be damned. I mean, this is what
CP is old, man.
But this is what Bron does, bro. This is what Bron teams does. They get rid of a lot of pieces sometimes and load up. They load up.
But Bron is old too now. Bron teams are gonna have to start investing into younger players.
But does he know that? All he know is his championship window. And if he feel that football, like I said, if he feel that's a championship window, he ain't thinking about the future.
Yeah, I mean, if it's reasonable, they'll bring him in. But I just don't feel like the trade we were looking at. I don't think they will overhaul the roster, like send 4 people out just to bring one guy in.
But they're gonna have to because of the contract. He got a big ass contract, so it's like you got to match it somehow.
And that's why I say stay the hell away from CP3. Stay the hell away from him. But I think Jeremy Grant, he can shoot in college, so it's like he wasn't getting. Sometimes it just doesn't click early on in your career when the defense is different. People close out hard in the NBA, so it changes. I just think he found his shooting touch that summer, and I think that's what we're seeing. I don't think he necessarily could not shoot prior to, because he been a scorer. You know, we've been waiting for this. I seen Jeremy Grant play a lot in high school also. So,
see, this is what Drew Holiday to the Lakers would be an issue. I would love for Drew Holiday to be a Laker. But I just don't feel that the Pelicans are gonna do another deal with the Lakers. So, I feel we done. I think we done with them.
What they got to lose, man? What they got to lose?
Viable player, underrated player. He would be the perfect piece for us. I mean, the perfect piece. He would finally get his respect defensively, because he don't get that. And oh my God, I don't even want to think. See, stuff like that, I don't even want to think, because it ain't gonna be realistic. Because I like to be realistic when it comes to my trade. But we spent a long time on our Lakers, and it was just we won the championship. I mean, it is what it is. But we had a shocking transaction happened this week. Le'Veon, became a Chief.
Mm-hmm.
And that just hurt one of my fantasy teams that's already hurting. But that's neither here nor there. But what's your initial thoughts on that, Cannon?
My initial thoughts was I was upset because, one, I had Le'Veon. I stuck with him during IR. And I needed him on the Jets because the Jets don't have anybody else at running back. And I don't even need you to do good, Le'Veon. I just need 60 yards and a touchdown on the goal line. That's all I need from you, right? And now they trade him, and they trade him to an offensive juggernaut. Yeah. So it's like, I don't even know if you really even going to get touches, Le'Veon. And if Andy Reid he's very smart, so he's probably going to try to work him in eventually. But it's like, I don't know if it's a rush to. Like, I don't know if he's going to get played this week. So I'm looking at it from a selfish standpoint, from fantasy, because I'm trying to figure out if I need to cut this man or not. He's been on IR all year for me. He only played one game back, and now you're on another team, so I don't know what to do. But what I will say about the Chiefs running back room is they got the rookie with Charles Edward. Clyde Edward. They got him, and he looked pretty decent. But I think, if Le'Veon could get back to his Pittsburgh Steelers days, which I don't know if he could ever get back to that, then he could probably take control of that running back room. But that remains to be seen.
I think that they don't need Pittsburgh Le'Veon, to be quite honest, because Clyde has been doing a great job
Hey,
for them.
yeah, he has been.
What he struggles is he's not strong enough to handle goal line. Like he just can't.
I've seen him handle it too.
But he just can't. But that's the struggle. That's the struggle because if you watch them, and it's not really a struggle because they get very creative in the red zone. But they're getting so creative in the red zone because they know for a fact that they can't just punch it in with Clyde.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember that game we watched, and he just kept getting stuff.
Punching in. He's just punching in because he's not strong enough yet. He's going to get there. He's going to get there. But now they got Le'Veon. So now they get to the red zone. It's an easy, you know what? We could just punch this in if we have to, because they've been getting real creative, doing reverses, RPOs, throwing it to the left tackle, flip passes. They doing everything in the red zone to score, and you can't depend on that week in and week out. But what you can depend on is somebody who has a nose for the end zone. They can just punch it in. So it's no need for you to try to get rid of Le'Veon, and don't get your fantasy advice from Hill. You know better than that. But he's going to be a goal line threat, and he's going to piss. I'm hurt for Clyde because he doesn't get those goal line touches.
If they even get into that situation, so it's like they full of back. So it's like I wanted him to go somewhere that didn't have a back at all, so he could just be the guy. But like I said, I'm my take is from a fantasy standpoint. I've been done with Le'Veon for real years ago. I normally don't even pick him up in fantasy. It's just running back was thin this year, man. It was thin, so I had to.
I'm looking real bad, man. It's fantasy, but it's just. I mean, the Chiefs have been. They're not really struggling. They're just getting punched. They're getting people's best bets, and which I said was going to happen to them. Like they're the hunter.
The Super Bowl champ, yeah.
You're the hunter. People's going to give you their best effort week in and week out. You can't hide up. You can't sneak on anybody this year. You know, you just paid your quarterback $500 million. You know, you're on TV every week.
Half a B.
You're not sneaking up on it. You're going to get everybody's best bet every week, and that's what happened. And the Raiders showed you. The Raiders ain't beat them in a while. And the Raiders showed up.
The Raiders showing up this season, period.
You touched on it earlier this year.
And it's looking like John Gruden said, all right, during this pandemic, he went back to the drawing board because last year we were saying that the game kind of looked like it passed him by. And I said, in our private conversation, I didn't want to give up with him because I thought he had that thing that coaches need, that great coaches have, and I thought that. So it's like the jury's still out, but it's like he is turning Oakland around, man, and they're looking like a certified problem. So it's like they beat the Chiefs, they continue to win. If the season continues to go, which Hill said it will no matter what because of the NFL.
You know,
then the Raiders can be a problem if they get into the playoffs. They have that mentality, and they're in a new stadium. They're feeling good. You know, they have that mentality that they can beat whoever, you know. And
they're looking like a Gruden team. They're looking tough. They're fighting
like grinders.
They look like Gruden grinders. And he finally putting his stamp on that team, man, which I did not agree with some of the moves and the way he went about it, but it does take time to put your stamp on certain teams, and it looked like because they haven't played. Every team that they play has a winning record.
Yeah.
So a lot of people like to, who did they play, or they try to use that against certain teams. I know I've heard that before against my team. So I'm going to give those Raiders their praise because every team that they face has a winning record. So they're not playing bums. They're coming out, with it.
That's a fact.
So they're going to be tough in that AFC West. You're going to have to come fight them. Like you say, you have to come with it. You're not going to beat them.
And I just think it's good for the NFL also, man. We've been seeing a lot of the same teams over the last few years. It's just good to see, the Browns looking better. You got the Raiders looking better, the Bills looking better. So I think it's just good for the league, man.
It's
It's
great
good
for
for the league.
some
Yeah.
other teams. Yeah, some other teams that show what they got and improving. It's like you say, we need some. We need some new. We need
hmm
some of the old. We need some of the old back, and
hmm
we need some new.
That's a fact.
All right, so I only got one Corona theory left, Cannon.
All right, let me hear it.
Adam, Adam Gates is only there because of Corona. Cause they fired Dan Quinn.
I
They got rid
told you. I told you, man. Listen,
only got one
Corona
left.
or not, some of these people needed to be fired.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'm surprised it took this long for Dan Quinn because I said that he was on thin ice last season. You last season after you blew the Super Bowl, so it's like then you come in with the Dallas game. I would have fired you right then and there because what you're showing me that blowing leads is now that's a trend for you.
See your DNA, buddy.
Yeah, so it's like I don't even want to be. It's like cancer. You got to cut it off. You got to distance yourself from it. And so I didn't think that a pandemic was going to save him. And I'm shocked that a pandemic continues to save Adam over there in New York, man, because Le'Veon, you got rid of him. What you going to do now? You going back to Frank Gore?
Mm-hmm.
You really about to get yourself fired. Like, I don't know what's going on. So we'll see how long the Rona can protect his job.
Continue. I showed you the schedule. I don't see a win in their future.
You said that.
I don't see a win in their future. Darnold's hurt. He'll be back soon. But I mean, even with him, he wasn't playing that well. It's just the fact that they got a lot of picks from the Jamal Adams trade, so you might as well use those. You might as well position yourself to have a great pick. Go ahead and get the number one pick. You go ahead and get everybody that you want, and just ride it out. I mean, firing Adam Gates is not going to change anything in New York right now, in my opinion.
Sometimes it does. Look what happened when they fired Gruden and Callahan took control. They instantly in 1 week looked like they knew how to play football in 1 week. I'm not saying that they won, but they did things like not waste timeouts in the third quarter. And so it's just like sometimes firing a coach can change things instantly. So it's like even if they don't win games here, they can at least trend towards start winning games. And I think as a fan of a team, you would rather that they trended towards winning than to just look like complete trash all the time. They need something.
Okay. I'm not a fan. So I'm definitely gonna look at it. I'm looking at it differently because like I said earlier, I'm not a fan of tanking.
Yeah. I don't say tank. I'm just saying get rid of him. This might help you.
This ain't tanking. Yeah, this ain't tanking. You just, I mean, it is. You are who you are. It is what it is. But I just feel that it's not gonna change. But some might change. They may play a little bit better. It is what it is. Want to give it's not a apology, just a shout out, some praise to the Titans, man. We bashed the Titans last week. We killed the Titans last week. They were putting a black eye on the league with their COVID outbreak. They were, not handling things. We called them selfish. We bashed the Titans. We bashed the Titans. And, Candy said they was going to play Iron Man football. And they went out there and punished the Bills. I mean, they went out there and punched the Bills in the mouth. And they rallied around themselves. They showed up.
I ain't apologizing. And I'm gonna tell you why they went out there.
Yeah, it was nothing to apologize about because they deserve everything that we said last week.
I'm just saying the reason they went out there and punched them in the mouth because they held them extra practices here.
I told you.
They manipulated and they lied.
I told you they had to have them practices, bro. They had that because you had to go out there and perform. I told you.
Hey, but I ain't mad because Derrick Henry y'all was able to get Derrick Henry on that field for me, and I needed Derrick Henry bad to solidify my winning best of the best, man. Ooh,
But
that's a tough league.
yeah. But like I said, I'm giving them their praise because they showed up. They still undefeated. You know, they did what they were supposed to do. They handled business. They handled the tough Bills. You know, they handled the tough Bills. Which I'm disappointed in the Bills because they should have been ready. They should have looked way better than what they looked, especially with a team that did.
It was Tuesday, bro.
Them outside practices wasn't doing that much.
It was Tuesday, bro. You yourself said no game should ever be. And so you got them in an awkward spot playing football on a day they never played football a day in their life on.
Should Josh Norman retire? Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Get up out of here. He little boy.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
He little boy. That was the toss that sent you out the league right then and there. He tossed your ass right up out the league. You got
parallel, bro. You literally were parallel to the ground.
Yeah, bro. Like I would have fought him. It is what it is, bro.
I wouldn't. You should have got up. Well, who quit at halftime the one time? That's what you should have did.
This ain't for me, bro. It ain't for me no more, dog. It ain't for me no more, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You just got up and left, bro.
For real, right then and there. Yeah, bro, we think.
No, we just gotta touch one more thing. Time running short. You know, we normally try to keep it an hour and some change. We didn't have fun with y'all doing the give and go and getting to a lot of supportive questions and comments.
We needed y'all for sure.
Yeah, we definitely needed y'all. So y'all, way to be the third man in the 3-man weave. That's what's up. But we had Ty Lue sign this week. Signed a 5-year deal with the Los Angeles Clippers. Mm-hmm. What's y'all take in the comments? And Hill, what's your take on that? Also brought Chauncey Billups with him.
I like it. I like it because we get the Clippers a lot of flack and wish it was well deserved. But they just need to run it back. And sometimes you just need to run it back. And sometimes you just need to do a few things differently that you clearly did wrong initially. Like get your chemistry right.
Mm-hmm.
Just get your chemistry right, and then you will be the team that everybody predicted y'all to be. And the one thing that Ty Lue has been known to do is hold people accountable. People like to, they like to talk bad about them. Bron did this, it's Bron team, it's Bron that. But the reports have been said plenty of times that Ty Lue was one of the only few coaches that held LeBron accountable. So I'm going to hang my hat on that. And like I said, I'll be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. Tristan Thompson last week was on one of them shows, and he literally said, bro, I've witnessed it. Ty Lue don't back down from no player, Bron included. And so it is what it is. Coaches coach, players play, man.
And, you hold them accountable. And then all of this bickering that they got, all these bogus reports that they got all coming out now, we're not about to have. I think Ty Lue is ready for this job. And like for me, I'm always you get 2 chances with me. I hate retreads, but my exemption is this your second chance? Go ahead and get it out the way and make the best of it. And make the best of it. And it's a bona fide championship roster. Like come
I think it's a good fit.
I like Chauncey Billups. I like because I like him personally. Hey, he was a leader. I think he can connect with the players. I wasn't a fan of him just immediately getting the head coaching job because I'm not a fan of anybody getting a head coaching job immediately with no experience. But putting him in that assistant chair where he can directly talk to the players and be the leader that he was somewhat on the floor. I like that move. I like that right then and there. And they got Larry Drew. Larry Drew is another respected assistant coach in this league. So now you got a respected staff.
Mm-hmm.
You go out there and handle your chemistry issue, you're going to be a threat.
Yeah,
it is what it is. I like the move.
Yeah, I definitely like the Chauncey Billups move. especially knowing the fact that it's been well known that Chauncey Billups has been seeking a head coaching position. So the fact that Chauncey was humble enough to say, you know what, let me take this assistant role and try to learn some stuff before I go out there and set myself up too. Because like you said, Hill, not only do you hate retreads, the league hates retreads, especially when you don't have the
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? So it's smart for him to go out there and get his feet wet, you know, get your coaching legs up under you, learn how to do it before you venture out. And I think they might be a good tandem together. 2 point guards, man. Mr. Big Shot, and then you got Ty Lue, who's just solid. So it's like, and with the championship pedigree that he got as far as coaching, so it's like, man, I think if anybody could try to turn this roster around, why not two young black guys who could relate to the players? So let's see it.
No, we don't know that. We already when he got hired, we already said we had to say about Doc. I mean, he might do something with him, but they need roster improvement before we go ahead and do Sixers. I like the hire. We go ahead and get Ty Lue one more chance and show what he can do. And like I said, this is gonna be his last chance because hey, you go from LeBron to Kawhi.
I mean, he got a chip though. It's like why it's got to be his last chance? It's people like Mike Woods. Okay, Mike Woods that had unlimited people that had chances. It's like I think I feel like Ty Lue been successful as a head coach.
But they don't want to give him credit. They don't want to give him credit. It's the he had Bron. It's the he had Bron thing, and we've been telling y'all Vogel.
Plenty coaches had Bron and didn't get chips. So if it was that simple, then they would have unlimited chips. Plenty coaches had Kobe. Kobe played what 17 years or 20? How many years?
20.
He got 5 rings. So it's like if it was just as simple as having Kobe, why don't have 10 rings then? You still gotta have a coach, man. So and teammates, you gotta have the whole thing line up. So it's like it's not as easy as saying he have Bron, man. Ty Lue coached the Cavs to a championship. Nobody can take that away from him. And I don't care if he had Bron. You needed Bron. They was never going to get a chip without him.
You got to coach. Like you say, you got to coach. Because if Vogel was doing a horrible job, we wouldn't have won this.
We would not have won. We would have lost because Spo,
so you got to coach.
Spo was coaching his ass off.
If Doc is a good hire, still a good hire, then Lue is more than good. That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's what I just said. I agree with Mark right there.
We're going to finish it off with this last supporter question right here. Jamar Jackson get hell yeah.
Yeah, I've been saying that. But it's like, do he want it? It's like Mark be confusing me, man. I feel like he loved that commentating job too. And the stresses that came with the coaching job, I feel like he ain't with that. I feel like he loves the game and he loves being around the players, but I feel like it's easier to just commentate it compared to coaching it.
Well, he said that he wants to coach again, but he's not going about it the way that I think we want him to go about it. We want him to be as loud as he is during the game about being a coach. He's being a coach. He's been, he's very religious. So if God wanted for him, it's going to happen for him. And some of these teams, like, honestly, before they hired Tibbs, New York needed Mark Jackson. New York needed Mark Jackson 2 coaches ago. You got to bring your boy home. He understands New York. As somebody that understands New York, he could have brought New York back to something. I'm not saying bringing him back to the promised land, but he could have brought him back to something, to respectable. And so he didn't get that job. He honestly, like the Pelicans, the Rockets should give him a chance. His job. He should get a job. It's no way other straight. He should get another chance. Like you said, you get 2 chances with me. You get 2 chances with me. So I'm with that. Give him another chance to show that he can coach, man.
I mean, he did well his first tenure, so it's like I never saw any reason for him not to be the coach.
It shouldn't take this long for him to get another job. You feel what I'm saying?
So That's why I've always
Mm.
chalked it up to the fact that maybe he really don't want a job.
I would say he would be perfect for the Indiana job, but I already felt that Nate McMillan should have never got fired, and I
Yeah.
don't know what they're gonna do with Oladipo. If I had a crystal ball, understand what they was gonna do with Oladipo, I would say Mark Jackson would be perfect for that job.
If
But
they had a coach, you might have a clear picture because the coach will come in there and say, like, I either want to move forward with Oladipo or I
yo,
don't.
you
And they can get on the same page with the GM, but it's like they wasting time at this point. The season's over. You need to get a coach.
yeah, see what I'm saying? But I think the reports is they try because Victor already said, well, not he already said, but the reports that he wants out, and it seemed like they trying to move Miles Turner. It's like,
well,
I'm not sure of that. I want to put Mark Jackson in that job if he's not going to have the pieces that they have. So
definitely just don't want to be in Indiana with nothing.
Yeah, definitely. You will look like Nate McMillan and end up getting fired. But I want to appreciate
2 chances with him, and he gonna be done.
You feel what I'm saying? I want to appreciate all the supporters that tuned in on YouTube and on Facebook group. We needed y'all.
Yes, sir.
We missed AJ this one, so we definitely needed y'all. Y'all stepped up for him, and I appreciate y'all. This is episode 82. Y'all can catch us on all major podcast platforms, 3Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3Man Weave _. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. That's Cannon. I'm here.
Yes, sir.
And we out.